than not. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the kind introduction. I actually visited the temple, the previous temple that was in the apartment, I guess, a couple of years ago. And I remember a few of you. I remember you. You are the one who picked me up for the Dhamma talk. And Mr. Te. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so happy to be back in the new temple. So today, I'm going to talk to you on a topic, why do Kusalas and Kusala habits go in tandem? So there are two things that we need to understand. There are Kusalas, which we call skillful activities, and skillful habits. Okay, so we're going to talk about these two first, and then going to look at why these two go hand in hand, why these two go in tandem. Okay. So first, maybe I can ask you a question. What is Kusala? Can anybody tell me what is Kusala? Kusala is good. Any more comprehensive answer about Kusala? Kusala? Wholesome activity. Yes, wholesome activity. How many Kusalas are there in the Buddhist teachings that Buddha asks us to practice, other than the 5 precepts? 5 precepts are very common sense, right? Every human, every being has to, practice. But there are Kusalas, a number that we have to practice. So how many Kusalas are there? 10 Kusalas are there. Okay, that means there are 10 Akusalas as well. So 10 wholesome activities or skillful activities, or 10 unwholesome activities as well. Then I'm going to ask you back, can you name what they are? Huh? What's that? No. Looks like you're remembering a different set of. What are they?
Meditation.
No. That's pretty serious stuff. Meditation, dana, they are not very serious stuff, right? No, that's the Eightfold Noble Path. Ah, yes. You got it. That's the first one. So what are the other? So there are 10. Now you said one, the first one, and then? No. No. Now I was telling you, these are not 5 precepts. Other than 5 precepts, there are 10. So the first one is not killing, not stealing, and then not misbehaving in the sensual pleasures. The fourth one, not taking what is not given, not stealing. The fourth one, not telling lies. Now don't be a liar, right? The fifth one, no, that's a different list. That's 5 precepts. So there are 3 unwholesome or skillful actions. There are 4 unwholesome or unskilled words, and there are 3 unwholesome thoughts or wholesome thoughts. So not killing, not stealing, not misbehaving in the sensual pleasures are the first 3, and they are actions. And there are 4 wholesome or unwholesome words: not lying, not slandering, not using hurtful words, and not being a gossiper or an idle chatter. 4. Wholesome or unwholesome words. And there are 3 wholesome or unwholesome thoughts. What are they? Just like you haven't been figuring out what they are, right? Does that mean that you were really unwholesome with your thoughts? No. If not, then what they are? Okay. Not being envious, not having thoughts of destroying other people, even thoughts. Not having thoughts of wrong view. These are the 10 wholesome or unwholesome, skilled or unskillful activities. Looks like I may need to explain to you a little bit, because I feel like a lot of you don't have a good understanding about what they really mean in the practical context. Okay, the first one, not killing, right? So you know that is pretty clear, not killing, right? An action. And not stealing is also an action. What are the ways of stealing? We know very famous ways of stealing. What about that you are promising someone that you would show up at 2 p.m. and then you're coming behind the time. You're coming 2:10, 2:15, and you're taking that person's time, stealing other people's time. Maybe you come too early. That's also a problem, right? The other people are doing something in there, whatever the stuff, right? So, becoming too early and becoming too late. Don't worry, today there was a different function. I'm not talking about all of you. I'm talking a normal, situation where people can be too early and too late. That means you are taking that person's time, which is not good. And I consider that's a form of stealing, right? And then misbehaving in the sensual pleasures. Okay, what is sensual pleasures? How many senses do we have? How many pleasures do we have? Do you come to Dhamma school? Looks like so. No. Okay. How many senses do we have? 5. Can you name them? Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. Okay. What do we do with these 6? What do we do? What do you do with seeing? What do you do with hearing? What do you do with smelling? What do you do with tasting? What do you do with contacting, touching? What do you do with thinking? So you get to see images with your piece of eyes. Images, sights. And then you get to hear, listen to the sounds with your piece of ears. What about the nose? You get to smell, right? What about the tongue? You get to taste. What about the body? You get to touch. Contact. Do you have a contact now with this nice red color mat? Yes. And there's a contact. What about the thinking? You get to have thoughts. Those are the pleasures. Or suffering. Sometimes this could be suffering. You get to see bad images. You get to see people you don't like. It's not a pleasant, gonna be an unpleasant image. Sometimes you get to hear a sound that you don't like. Right? Are there sounds that you don't like? Could be. Sometimes you get to smell something really bad, stinky, dirty, right? Sometimes you get to smell something really interesting. Sometimes you get to taste things that you don't like, right? So it's about the taste. Sometimes the opposite. What about the contact? Sometimes you get to use uncomfortable places. You are really uncomfortable. You can't sit anymore. You really want to switch into something that you really like. What about the thoughts? Everybody like to be in a certain mood every day, every time, on a day. But would that happen all the time? No. Moods get changed. So sometimes it takes time to fix the mood. Has any one of you were in the turbo mode today? Turbo mode? Energetic mode. Anyway, so even we expect that we may have a good mentality every day, every moment, maybe morning, afternoon, evening. Sometimes it won't work because we are dealing with a lot of different situations. But we would of course like to be with a good mentality, good mood. Anyway, so these are the sensual pleasures. So if someone is going to misbehave in the sensual pleasures, that means misbehaving in the sensual pleasures. How can someone misbehave in the sensual pleasures? Can someone tell me? How can someone misbehave in the sensual pleasures? Pardon? I don't hear properly. Well, misbehave in the sense of crossing the boundaries of the pleasures. Have you ever seen people or you cross the boundary of the pleasures? Let's say you have been addicted to unnecessary things, right? Are people getting addicted to different things? Yes. Young guys getting addicted to games, so they want an Xbox. Not you, right? Sometimes you are getting addicted to certain type of movies, certain type of songs. You don't have a boundary. You don't know how long I should watch that thing. You keep watching, so the whole day is gonna be wasted time sometime. You have no control, no boundary to your images, sounds. What about the taste? It's about foodie people, right? Foodies. They have no management about food. They're gonna keep eating. And then at the end, they're getting sick. They say, I'm having diabetes, I'm having cardiovascular issues. A lot of issues come from misusing the tongue. So tongue is a big problem. It's pretty difficult to take care to manage. Right? Because people are not that much health conscious at that time, but now people are getting more eating healthy food, but they are pretty expensive, right? Someone may argue, at a time when the healthy foods are very expensive, how come someone is saying, eat healthy food? I can't afford, right? But anyway, on one side it's about the quality of the food, on the other side it's about how often, how much food, what type of food do I eat? So that's behaving or misbehaving. Okay? You don't have to struggle a lot. Some people struggle a lot. They have some thoughts like, I want to go sugar free for a week. That means that person won't eat any sugary stuff for a week. So it's pretty forceful, expectation. So what happens is that they're gonna go sugar free for a week, and on the 8th day, she has a party and get to see chocolates, and they now want to compensate for the whole week. So what's the purpose of being sugar-free for a week and on an 8th day you're going to eat too much sugary stuff? This is the problem, right? So we should have a conscious planning for our food styles, food patterns, smell patterns, smell styles, and the contact, and also the thoughts. So this is what we call behaving or misbehaving in the sensual pleasures. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the second pattern, which is called wholesome or unwholesome words. What are they? Not lying, not slandering, not using hurtful words, and not being a gossiper or an idle chat. Not lying. According to the Buddhist teachings, are we supposed to lie? Are we supposed to lie? No. But can we speak the truth all the time? No. Tell me why. I'm asking a practical question. Don't get bothered by the textual things. Can we speak the truth all the time? Always. If not, then what has troubled us in not speaking the truth? Any thoughts? Okay, so you have some thoughts of not offending the other person. Okay, that's a good point. I think that falls onto the third unwholesome word too. You are not expecting to hurt someone, right? What are the other circumstances about not being able to speak the truth all the time? One is not having thoughts of offending someone. What are the other circumstances whereby we think we should not speak the truth now at this time? If I know that there would be a fight, commotion, argument right away after I speak the truth, I better keep quiet and postpone the truth. Why? Because avoiding a fight, an argument or a commotion is better than speaking the truth at that point. But that doesn't mean you're going to keep postponing. One day when things are settled, you're going to tell the truth. This is why I postpone the truth. I want to really tell. Make sense? Yes. So that's how we have to think about. So we have to be very smart in speaking the truth. Right? Because people talk whatever they see. So we should have a good management about what to talk, when to talk, where to talk, whatever the stuff. So the first one, not lying. Are there liars in the world, or are there truthful people in the world? Who is the majority? Are the liars or the truthful people? No idea about it. Who are the most? Who do you think the most? Because if the world is a bad place, people tend to say liars are the most. Okay, anyway, it could be half and half. No idea about it. So the second wholesome or unwholesome word is not slandering. What is slandering? What is slandering? Not talking behind the back. Do people talk behind the back? Yes. They talk something in front of you. They're going to go to the back and they're going to talk something different. It's pretty dangerous thing. We call backstab, right? Backstab. You're going to stab not from the front, then you know who you're going to get stabbed, right? You're going to stab from the back. So any conversations that are conducive to that backstabbing are slandering. Why is there this slandering happening? What could be the reason? Jealousy. Could be jealousy. Okay? So Buddha says that's the second unwholesome word. If you don't do that, then you are having the wholesome word. Because you have integrity. This is what most people may lack. What did Buddha tell us? We need to de-emphasize our good things and emphasize our mistakes first. And also we need to emphasize others' good things and de-emphasize others' faults. Do we do like that? No. We want to emphasize our good things, de-emphasize our bad things. We're going to emphasize others' faults and de-emphasize their good things. We have no integrity at most times. Buddha says that's pretty wrong. We're going to talk about it under the skillful habit study. Okay, so we need integrity. So people who have integrity never slacked. They know what to talk, how to behave. The third wholesome or unwholesome word is not using hurtful words. What could be the hurtful words? Swear words. Swear words. Are swear words the only type of hurtful words? What about the words that are being used sarcastically, in an indirect way? They could also be hurtful, right? Sometimes a lot of people nowadays don't swear. They talk in a nice way, but they are really hurtful. Right? So the most important thing is not the consistency at some point, whether the people getting offended, hurtful or not. Sometimes we don't know the cultures, so we have to be really conscious of what we're going to talk. Sometimes we don't know the religious thoughts, perspectives. Sometimes we don't know other types of, explanations, right? So that's why we may use words to hurt other people. So we have to be very careful, right? So that's why we need to be very careful about the consistency and the presentation of the words that we use. So it could be either an unwholesome word or a wholesome word. What's the last wholesome or unwholesome word? That's called not being a gossiper or an idle chatter. Who is a gossiper? Who is a gossiper? Always talk about other people. But can we talk about other people? Yes, in a good way. Buddha said we need to emphasize others' good, de-emphasize others' mistakes or whatever the faults. But these people, they refer to other people for something else. Maybe to put them down, maybe to talk bad mouth about them. Speak ill of those people, right? What about not being an idle chatter? Who is an idle chatter? Just talking for nothing. There's no meaning, there's no timely thing, and nothing associated with that speech. Just talking, wasting time. They are called idle chatters. So Buddha said, don't be an idle chatter or a gossiper. So not being a liar, not slandering, not using hurtful words, and not being a gossiper or an idle chatter. So these are the 4 wholesome or unwholesome words. And then what are the 3 wholesome or unwholesome thoughts? Not being envious. The first one, which is called avijja. The second one, not having thoughts of destroying other people. And the third one called not having thoughts of wrong way. What is being envious? What is being envious? Huh? No, jealousy and envy has a difference. I will tell you the reason. Envy means that you are simply not tolerating what others have. Being envious. But when you say you are jealous, you are making a personal connection. Let's say, that's scholarship. was something that I could have received, but somebody else took that. That person was someone that I could have, acquired or received or associated, but somebody else took that opportunity. That means you are making the personal connection to the object. That means being envious and being jealous are two things. But people just use being envious for everything, being jealous for everything. So we should not have any thoughts of overly liking other people's stuff. Do we overly like other people's stuff? Sometimes can be, right? Because when we see, oh, it's pretty nice, wonderful, amazing. So why not? Right? So Buddha said this is not a good thought. That's being envious. So being jealous means it's a different thing. That's called that you are making a personal connection to that object. So this is something that I could have earned, I could have acquired. Not that you are generally thinking that I'm overly liking, that I'm liking for nothing. Okay? So not having thoughts of being envious. The second bad thought, unwholesome thought, is not having thoughts of destroying other beings. Even a thought of destroying other beings. Do we usually have some thoughts, or do we usually come up with some thoughts of destroying other people? We never share with other people, but is there a possibility of having some, destroying killing thoughts? Could be, but we're gonna manage. We're not going to let that go outside. If it passes that level, it's gonna be panadipata, killing. But Buddha says even you have thoughts, you never share with other people, but you have thoughts of destroying other people, it's an unwholesome thought. What are the other ways of destroying other people in the broader context? Any idea? Any idea about it?
Nowadays, this disruptive technology, just like grab car and then the taxi driver, they are jobless because of they always think of disruptive technology.
Disruptive analogy. Okay, technology is a good place. Do people destroy the good image of other people on social media? Do they? Do they destroy? By sharing misinformation. This guy did this thing, somebody is actually gossiping, fabricating something really untrue, and you never know what really happened. You're gonna hit the share button, and everybody of your friend get to trust what you share. On one side you are lying, on the other side you are destroying the good image of that person. See? So that's called character assassination. It's pretty bad. So thoughts are. Now it is not just a thought, you are killing. Sort of a panadipata too. So Buddha says, please avoid even a single destroying thought of any being. If it pops up in your mind constantly, that means you are not having good management of your thoughts. You may come for a dana, you may come for a meditation, but you are not still growing in your compassion and your wisdom. You have a long way to go, right? It's okay to offer dana, it's okay to meditate, it's okay to do dana, but if you are still at the beginner's level, that's pretty shameful. Right? So it's kind of a maturity of your thinking, thought. Okay, so these are the 10 Kusala activities which you call wholesome activities. Now you know what they are. Now can someone tell me what they are? How many are there? 10. Can someone tell me what they are? Not killing, not stealing, not misbehaving. not lying, not slandering, not using hurtful words, not being a gossiper or an idle chatter, not being envious, not having thoughts of destroying other beings, and not having a wrong view. Oh, I think I missed that. Wrong view. Buddha said wrong view is a problem too. What is the wrong view? We need to believe in the karma and the rebirth. There are 10 things that you need to look it up. Look it up on Google. There are 10 things. I won't actually confine my talk with other things. So then there are 10 things where people have a different thought of not believing those 10. Right? So one has to believe in those 10 things, thereby they are not falling into the wrong way. Okay? Now I'm gonna talk to you about what are the skillful habits. Now these are the skills which are called wholesome activities. Have you ever heard this word? I mean this context? Where do we find them? Now there are skills or wholesome activities, then there are skillful habits. Because habits are really dangerous, right? If it is a good habit, then it's fine. But if it is not a good habit, then it's going to be a problem. Where do we find these skillful habits? I think you know, but you haven't figured out in that context. In the Metta Sutta, I think we just chanted for the Dana, for the Buddha Puja, Metta Sutta. Can you remember in the Metta Sutta, Karaniya Matta Kusalena Yantan Santan Padang Abhisameksha. Remember? What does it say? Karaniya Matta Atta. We have to decombine the Pali word. Karaniya Matta, Karaniya Atta. So there's a combination in Pali language. When you decombine, it's going to be Atta Kusale, the one who is good in skillful activities. So these 10. Suppose there is someone who is really good in these skillful activities, 10 skillful activities or wholesome activities. Then, Karaniya Matta Kusalena, as well as Yantam Santam Padam Abhisameksha. The person who wants to attain the Nirvana, the one who is skilled in those skillful activities, plus who wants to attain the Nibbana, Yantang Santang Padang Abhisameksha, must inculcate, cultivate these skillful habits. So the habits are next. What are they? Sakko, Ujucha, Sujucha, Suacho, Mudu, Anatima, Santusako, Subharo, Appakicho, Salankabuddhi, Santimpriyo, Nipako, Appagam. How many? 13 skillful habits. Let's take a look at what they are. Sakko is the first skillful habit we have to practice while we are practicing the 10 skillful activities. What is Sakko? What is Sakko? Sakko means being skilled. In what? In physical, mental skills. There are physical skills, there are mental skills. So Buddha asks us to be skilled in physical, mental skills. Sometimes there are life skills. What are the life skills that a being can practice, develop? What are the life skills? That's what Buddhism actually. What are the life skills? What are they? Swimming is a good life skill, right? It's a good life skill. There's ocean, there are rivers. If someone knows how to swim, river, ocean, whatever, the same thing would not be a big problem. For those who cannot swim, who don't know how to swim, it's a big thing. What about playing an instrument? Pretty nice. properly, in the right manner, it's going to be a good life skill. So there are a lot of life skills like one can achieve. What about the mental skills? Mental skills? The four Brahma Viharas, what are they? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. Loving kindness, compassion, and then Mudita, altruistic joy, and equanimity. So they are mental skills. Right? Not everybody can have. Though people know, a lot of people have a hard time in putting them into practice. A lot of people know the good stuff, but the problem is they don't know how to push out of that comfort zone into that challenging zone. So good stuff should be in the challenging zone. You know that becoming angry is bad, but the problem is when you are really angry, you don't know what to do. That's the problem. Becoming jealous is pretty bad, but when you are really jealous, you don't know how to get out of that thing. So Buddha says, take you into the challenging zone. We must, otherwise this is going to be a knowledge, like an academic term, which will not make any impact in your life. You know the good stuff, but it's not in your real life. Okay? So metta, karuna is compassion, and in the West we call something that goes similarly, which is called empathy. Empathy and compassion. What is empathy and what is compassion? Empathy means that you trying to feel the pain of somebody, but you are not helping that person out. You simply want to feel the pain. You may know when people say, I know what you're going through, I know. I can't do anything. Right? There are people who say like that. They are empathetic, they are not compassionate. So the compassionate people takes a further step, one step further. Okay, what can I do for you? Well, I mean, either that person can do, or has time, or actually, more understandable about what's going on. So compassionate people are more than those empathetic people. So empathy and compassion, they are two things. Anyway, if somebody can have the both at different times, because I don't think everybody can help out everybody at each time. It could be for financial reasons, it could be for time reasons, it could be for social reasons, it could be for religious reasons, whatever the reasons. But the most important thing is that you are really conscious of the other's pain, suffering, and then trying your best to help that person out. What about mudita? Altruistic joy. That's what we have to practice all the time. When we know other people are, getting so successful, they are becoming very, growing. Then what we have to do? We have to always think. We have to always practice this objective thinking. But instead of practicing objective thinking, what happens to man is that they are going to be subjective. Oh, why didn't I get this opportunity? Why was she? Why was the other person? That really, upset us. So we're always going to be subjective, fall into subjective thinking, but not to the objective thinking. If you don't have this objective mentality, then what's going to happen is that you are always 24/7 jealous. 24/7, 365. Your whole year, whole time will be full of jealousy and all the bad things. Because you are lacking in altruistic joy, which is called mudita. And the last one called upekkha. What is upekkha? Being able to understand, being able to balance out whatever the situations happen in your life. You may be complimented by someone, hey, you are the guy, best guy, you did a great, big job, you are so happy, you are shrugging off, yes, I'm the best guy. But on the next day, what happens? Somebody else is going to criticize you constructively. You didn't do the job today. Even you think that you can do it constantly, but you didn't do that today. So there's criticism for today, right? So there are 8 types of situations where people need to be very careful. Gains, losses, honor, dishonor, right? Fame, defame, happiness, unhappiness. What Buddha asks us to stay balanced when you are dealing with all these situations. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be overly happy about any of those things. Right? You need to balance out. That's the key. That's called upekka. So anyway, see, physical skills and mental skills. That's called sakkha. So this, for the first skillful habit is being skilled. Make sense? Okay. The second skillful habit is uju. What is uju? What is uju? No idea about it? Okay, uju means moral uprightness. What is being upright? Okay, keep yourself upright. It's good to have a good blood flow, but this is going to be moral uprightness. Why Buddha says uju is a skillful habit? Because sometimes what people do is they're going to see others' faults. Okay, you did a bad thing, you did this mistake. But when it comes to their people, their friends, their family, their whoever the close people, they never see it as a mistake. They never see it as a fault. They never see it as a blunder. That means their morality is not upright. It is crooked. Their morality is crooked. Okay. That means that when there are people doing good things, okay, good guys. But when the same is done by somebody else, no. That's not good stuff. That's what Buddha says. Moral uprightness is the second skillful habit that helps you to practice the 10 kusalas, 10 skillful activities. Make sense? Okay. Uju. The third skillful habit is called suju. Sakko, uju, suju. What is suju? Honesty. Is honesty a big matter in our life? Is it a big matter? It is? Yes. Why honesty is a big matter? I think all the connection, relationships are based on honesty. Right? That's why nowadays there are a lot of issues coming up with cheating. Do people cheat all the time? Do people trust all the time? Cheating has become a big problem, right? Nowadays. I know there are a lot of issues going on with cheating, but Buddha says we need to be honest all the time. Honesty is called suju. Because if you are not honest, then what will happen to you? Then you are lacking in integrity. So, in order to be integral, we need to be what? Really honest. If you are not honest, then what will happen to you and other people? You are losing trust within you and other people. Did Buddha use a word for trust in the Pali language? What was the word Buddha used to talk about trust in Pali? Saddha. You know this word? Saddha. Saddha means trust. Okay? If you don't have saddha, then that means you don't have this trust. That means you are not a person who can be trusted, which means you are not honest, you are not integral. Your integrity is fallen apart. So that is suju. Sakko, uju, suju. Suwacho. What is suwacho? Being able to open up for the right people, for guidance, advices. Do you think that we are really perfect in our life? We don't need any advices, guidance from other people. I don't care about other people. Do you have that mentality? Okay, that's not a good mentality. But we need to be open up for the right person, not for the wrong person. Right? So that's a good thing to know. Now, Buddha says that if you can open up for the right person, then you can learn a lot. Those people will show you where you went wrong, right? So that's a really good thing. Because we know we are perfectly imperfect, but socially speaking, people are making the social images like we need to be perfect. It's good to say that we need to do everything to the best of us, or to the best of what it is meant to be. But this perfectionism can be a problem, right? Nowadays, among the people who study, among the people who work, this perfectionism has influenced pretty badly, right? They have anger, they have this jealousy, they have this backstabbing, right? Because of perfectionism, they want to actually emulate other people, compete with the other people all the time, right? So being able to open up for the right people, for guidance in our life, that's one of the skillful habits. And then Suacho Chasa Mudu. What is Mudu? Mudu means softness. Right? Softness, which you call flexible, right? In other words, are there many flexible people, or are there many like hardcore people not being able to, get change at the time that they are supposed to change? People who don't look that they are flexible, they are having a hard time because they want to see everything the way that they want. Is it easy? Would that happen? Not all the time. They getting up to a lot of issues, personal issues, clashes, right? Buddha says we need to be flexible. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we can do just by ourselves for the most of the time. So we should know who are the other people like. What are the other people's thoughts? What is their mentality like? If you know all these things, it's pretty easy to work with those people, right? If you don't know how to work with other people, even within your family, friends, it's going to be a problem, right? So Buddha asks us to be soft or flexible. And then anatimani, that's the other next skillful habit. Anatimani. What is anatimani? I think you all know these Pali words, right? Mudu, anatimani. What is anatimani? Humble. Being humble. Why do we need to be humble? There's a word called we need to be down to earth. Huh? Not up to the sky, right? To be down to earth should be the people who are living on the ground, right? This earth. So not like airing all the time, So Buddha asks us to be humble all the time. So humility, so this being humble thing is very important in our life. Now in Buddha's character life, you can see a lot of examples where Buddha asks us to, where Buddha was very humble. It's a total life of humbleness, right? So that's a skillful habit, which is not found in the skillful activities. And then Sakko Ujuta Sujuta, Sakko Uju Suju Suacho Mudu Anatimani. And then Santussako. Santussako means being content. So satisfaction and being content, being satisfied or being content are two different things, right? So being content means that you are happy with what you are with, right? Are we happy with what we have? No. Why? Why? Huh? Of craving. Or do you have a lot of things in your bucket list to fulfill? I want to go there, I want to see that, I want to get that. I want to be able to afford to buy that. How does it go? Looks like we are not content that much. But are we satisfied? Are we satisfied? By default. By default. By no choice. But there are people who say they are really content. They found the right people, they are with the right people, they have good friends, they achieve whatever things that they expected. There are people too. So we have to be careful in making a general statement. But for the most people, it's not. Maybe the bad choices, poor choices that they made. Early time, not now. Right? So Buddha said, if you are not content about you and your surrounding, that will be an impediment, hindrance for your skillful activities. Right? It could be a hindrance, it could be a setback, right? Kind of setback. So then how we can find to be people who are content? We need to do a good study about ourselves, what do I really want. Sometimes we have some imaginary expectations that are not really going to work, but we still think they're going to work. That means Buddha asks us to find out what you really want. If you don't think that they are not realistically working, cross them out. Because you are wasting your time for those things. Right? So then, try to find where you can be really content. That's a skillful habit. And then, Santush supporter, Subharocha. Subhara, what is Subhara? Easily supportable. You are very simple. You don't have a lot of complaints. Do people complain or do people not complain a lot about food, life, clothes, stuff that they use, their life? Do people complain a lot or do people just only talk about the good things of their life? What kind of people you have came across? Many people who complain a lot. They complain a lot about what they couldn't get, or that their expectations are not being met for different reasons. And sometimes when you are with a person who has no similar, expectations, likes, dislikes, thoughts, perspectives, you are also in trouble, right? Even in a temple, right? Some like to, do the cultural practices only. Some like only to meditate. They never come for any other thing. Some like to socialize. Some like to listen to a Dhamma talk. There's hardly a person who wants everything. Right? Right? Who has a very good perspective of, okay, I don't care, I want to be a part of this whole thing. I'm not actually, branding anything of my practice. Right? So Subhara people are people who can live with anything. They are very simple. Right? So they don't have a lot of stuff in their mind. They are very easygoing. Buddha says it's a skillful habit that really helps you to practice skillful activity or kusalas. Santusakoja Subharocha Appakicca. Appakicca means being unbusy, not being busy. Are people busy nowadays? How busy are people? They are busy bodies, right? Busy like a bee. But they are busy for a priority. Actually, what happens is that when they say, we are busy, I am busy, that means he or she has a top priority. So, the person who is getting the least priority could be the least prioritized person. I have something to go, so I can't come. I am the least priority. That person is the top priority. But Buddha says, if your life is too busy, that will be a setback to your skillful activities. Some people are getting busy for nothing. On one side, they don't even earn money, they don't have a good life, they ruin their whole life for nothing. It is okay if you are busy for something really good to your life, not even just the money. Right? And Buddha says, not being too busy. Now, being too busy is also a skillful habit. Okay? We are almost at the end of the skillful habits. Okay? Subaroja Apakicho. Sanlahuka buddhi. Sanlahuka buddhi. What does it mean? Simple life. Simple life. Simple life does not mean that you are emptying your house. Now, this happens to me when I went into a house of a man in one province in Canada, and I went with another 2 months, and on that day they were trying to take us to a fine dining restaurant. They said, Bhante, can you come and have a Dhamma discussion before we go, because the restaurant is going to be open at 11. So they picked us up around 9, so okay, and we went in. And then the man was telling me, I was actually interrupting the conversation in the first place. See, in my TV, I actually discontinued the cable service. There's no facility for us now to watch those fancy channels. There's only Discovery. What was the other one? The sports channel. And we have given all the sofas, studies. There's no sofa stuff. There was only one. That was for us actually. Then I asked a question from him. Okay, how did you do all these things? What is your point of doing all these things? Okay, this is being very Buddhist. I said, I don't think Buddha said something like this. Buddha said, you can use whatever the stuff without clinging to the stuff that you are using. Right? But if you really want to downsize your utility bills, whatever you may go, but if you think that by by downsizing this stuff in this way, that you will become a better Buddhist, I don't think that will work. Buddha said, you may use the comfortable, pleasurable stuff, but don't cling to them. If you lose it, you are in a state of mind, I don't care. It's fine. See? So, Sanlahuka buddhi means not that you are giving out everything you have or emptying stuff. Is that you are keeping whatever things that you want, that you need, but you are not clinging to the stuff. Okay? Sanlahuka buddhi. And then, Santusakoja Subharoja, Appakichoja Sanlahuka buddhi, Santintriyo. Santintriyo means being restrained, that you have a very good calmness with your senses. For the most time, our senses are not calm, right? So eyes have a hard time, our ears have a hard time, nose, tongue, body, mind, they have a hard time, right? So the Buddha says, if someone can calm, when they make those senses calm, that's also a skillful habit. Santintriyoja Nipakoja. What is Nipaka? Nipaka means being discreet or being prudent. What is being discreet? What is being discreet? Being very careful in your actions, your thoughts, words. Are we careful in our actions, thoughts, words before expressing to other people? Are we? Not that much. That's why we are in trouble. Other people are getting hurt. We need to be discreet. That's called nipaka. And the last one is called appagabba. That's the last type of skillful habit. What is it? Appagabba. Appagabba means being modest. What is being modest? You are a person who is unassuming. Now in the East, people are always assuming, judgmental, right? Okay, oh, this man is something like that, you know. Maybe he's into something, he's up to something. I mean, maybe there are good people too, I don't know. But the majority could be judgmental. But in the West, people are not that judgmental. There are people who are judgmental. They are not judgmental. They are unassuming. A real Buddhist should be unassuming. How did the West take this example? From where? Buddha said. Appagabba. Don't be judgmental because you don't see the bigger picture. Right? So that's also a skillful habit. Now, my point was, I was telling you, those 10 skillful activities and these skillful habits go hand in hand, go in tandem. If you think you only want to perform, do the skillful activities and that's it, it won't work. If you only think you want to do the skillful habits, that won't work. You have to do the both simultaneous. Thereby, you attain a nice, comfortable, great secular life and at the end, nirvana. So that's what I was sharing with you today. So if you have any questions, now we can have a Q&A session. Thank you. It has a sort of letting go too, but directly speaking, it's not letting go. But when you want to stay balanced, not becoming shaken by whatever the good things, you may need to let go some stuff. For example, like you are feeling, okay, I should be overwhelmed. No, I need to let go that feeling. Make sense? Something like that. But directly it is not letting go, but when you see what's really going on, when you are balancing out your whatever the things, it is letting go. Yeah, to be able to be unshaken, not get wavered with whatever the things.
What's the difference between a humble and modest?
Okay, being humble and being modest. Being humble means that you are down to earth. You are really respectful, you are really, into something. You don't have any proudness. But when you say when you are modest, you are unassuming, you are not judgmental. You don't have any preoccupied thoughts. You are pretty objective. Okay, you're gonna see something, oh, this mic. If I'm subjective, oh, I'm actually comparing with the other mics that I know. But if I'm objective, no, this could be a different mic that I never see. I don't know what is inside. So then I get to see a lot of things. If I'm subjective, I only brand, the mic I know, same type of mic. So Buddha asks us to practice vipassana, that is called objective thinking. But people don't have vipassana. Then they are into something that is not vipassana. Vipassana means seeing things as they are. That is vipassana, objective thinking. But what people do, seeing things as they are or as we are, that is not vipassana.
Translation for sada, just now Reverend says trust. And then,
Trust.
And then another translation of faith or
Well, faith is mostly coming from this biblical translation, because we don't usually use the word called faith. It's like in other religions, Abrahamic religions, they use the word called faith. You have to blindly put your faith about that. No questions, nothing. You just simply let him talk about, let her talk about. But in the Buddhist teachings, I would say trust about the Buddha. Buddha asks us to investigate before believing him. Do you know that? In the sutta called Vimansaka, all the followers, all the people who are trying to practice his teachings, need to investigate who he is, whether he has really attained the Buddhahood. Otherwise, don't trust me, Buddha said. So how open-minded? You never see a teacher like that, right? Even do you think a professor want to say like that? Okay, I'm a professor, but you need to investigate me before you call me a professor. Even those guys never say like that, right? You must know that I'm a professor, I'm a teacher like this. So how open-minded? That's why I'm always telling people, before going on to the sutras, try to understand the life of the Buddha. That is very important before we try to understand the sutras. Sutras were actually given to specific people, not to us. So, but they are okay, they are good. But before that, before reading sutras, we need to know who the Buddha was, how he interacted, how he worked with other people, how he managed certain situations. We can learn. They are good examples. Right? Anybody else?
What if Kusala and Akusala mental activity come together at the same time? Let's say when you're offering dana, and then there's a Akusala thought coming while you eat. Does it mean the faith of this person is not strong enough?
Well, what happens is that when a person comes up with an akusala thought or an akusala action, then there would be immediately an akusala habit as well. So they go in tandem, they go simultaneously.
So the Akusala thought will overcome, or the demerit thought will overtake the meritorious.
Oh, you mean like if someone comes up with an akusala, would that trouble the good karma of that person? To some certain extent. Let's say you all doing dharma today, but the ways and perspectives that you did are different. If I ask you privately, everybody, why did you give dharma today, offer dharma? I don't think you will say the same reason to me, right? Someone might say, I just want to practice dharma. Someone might say, I want to attain nibbana. Someone might say, I want to cut down on greed, hatred, delusion. Someone might say, this is cultural stuff. I'll show you the stuff here, right? So the thing is, these people are creating their own karmas differently, right? So the maturity of the karmas are really different. It's not same, right? Sometimes it is like this. A smaller action will give them a good result. A bigger action might give them a bad result, like a smaller result too. So it works, pretty differently. So it can affect.
So how does the person stop this kind of negative thoughts?
They're gonna, get rid of the akusalas first, in the first place. You said that people who are doing akusalas, at the same time they are doing good things. What will happen to their result, right? So the first thing that they have to do is they need to get rid of akusalas. That means, let's say, what kind of akusalas that you referring to? Okay, let's say bad thoughts, being envious, having thoughts of killing, destroying other people. So what they have to do is that they need to get rid of those thoughts in the first place, and then to do good things. Make sense? Well, you know what? The karma and the vipaka, which means the actions, thoughts, words, that is called karma, and their results, and the maturity, how they work, are very different. Don't think simply because you do a good thing, you all get the good results. Buddha says the maturity is very different. If two of us plant 2 trees at the same place, but if you take a look at the result, harvest of the trees, it could be different. Why? Maybe my one is getting more sun. The other person's one not getting more sun. Maybe I am nursing this plant better than you. Maybe the soil over there is very different than you. There could be different reasons. So Buddha says the result of the karmas are not linear. It's not like a straight thing. It could be different from different reasons. The first thing is the person who is doing that. Right? Let's say you are good people. There could be bad people. They also can come and listen to a chanting. And the situations they make this, they execute this particular action. Situations. Right? Sometimes we make good actions at different times. Bad times, good times. So don't just decide your karma just by the deed. You have to act the person, individuality, at the same time the situation that you are making that. So when 3 of these things get together, there will be maturation of your karma, and then the result will be a little different. But we all have a chance of doing good karma. You can't say that this is going to be your karma, good karma. Any more questions? So I have a question for you. Okay, yeah.
If someone has lots of resentment inside, anger, hatred, how to let them go? How to release all those bad feelings?
Mindfulness. The 4 establishments of mindfulness. Have you heard of them? Kayanupassana, Vedanupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhamma. First, the best thing to do is Kayanupassana. So do the breathing meditation, or try to look at what's going on when you are so much resentful, angry. Now when you are really resentful about something, you feel your breathing is getting very heavy, you're puffing, right? And you feel like your muscles are getting tight, then you know something wrong is happening inside of you. The moment you understand that, is the place you decide, I don't let this develop within me. Stop that moment. So that's the first thing you need to do. And then trying to understand why this is popping up all the time. But that's not the first thing. The first thing is that you're trying to observe your physical sensations. Does it happen to resentful people? When angry, you feel like you are tight, muscles, heaviness. Right? It can happen, right? Even to animals. They're pretty strong when they want to attack something, right? Well, I mean, the first thing, because when you are angry and so much resentful, your mind doesn't work that much. At that time, you are really, really weak. That's why Buddha says, first look at the body, kaya vipassana, right? And then try to see why this is popping up, because it's wrong, it's not good. And then to think about practice metta. Yeah. Okay, my question that I was going to ask you is that now you understand simply practicing the 10 kusalas is not enough. Then what you have to do, you need to practice 13 kusala habits as well at the same time. Okay? If that would be the last thing, then we can wrap up this conversation.
I translate a bit for the Chinese and Mandarin, you don't understand. Some
Okay.
they understand Mandarin.
Okay, please. Yeah, please.
各位佛友们刚才师父说的是在我们的善的行动跟善的习惯，它是要一致的哪一些是属于善的呢？他没有讲这些我是听到，我是翻译我接收到的有一些太过快一想就对不起所以第一个是他讲不杀生不杀生第二个不杀生就是不取其他的生物的生命因为生命是最可贵的。接下来是不偷窃他讲 not stealing 是不偷窃，然后就是我们讲不妄语不妄语不邪淫这些，在我们的眼鼻舌身跟意念这些我们都要有善的基础行为像师父讲，如果吃饭呢，我们不要太过度的我们如果有其他像小孩子他们玩那个手机的 game 呢，他们就沉溺我们讲 over indulgence 沉溺就不好。像我们华人很多是我们喜欢看电视机一看就是几百集那种是过度沉溺就不好。另外一个是不说谎不说谎，不诽谤不诽谤不讲粗话我们讲话呢就是讲好的话不讲别人的是非我是定是别人的是非有时我们说一些真话我们讲一些真话要看情况，有时候我们讲了引起别人吵架争执这样也是对我们不好不是善，我们必须等适合的情况才讲一些真理另外一个是不妒忌不妒忌不记恨这些不妒忌就是讲当看别人比较好，自己得不到，我们就把那个妒忌心去起，所以我们要知道这个是不善不善毁灭其他生物destroy other beings 这个也是希望别人他有不好的遭遇这样是很不好。另外一个是我们讲 character assassination 是人格谋杀，就是把那个人讲到很不好直到别人不相信他，讲他做了什么。接下来是讲skillful habits 这些是善的习惯。第一个呢，他是讲我们必须学习一些 living skill 是讲日常要用到的技能，生活中要用到的技能。就是讲我们可以接受别人的教导open minded to receive teaching from others。第二个呢是moral uprightness， 就是讲正直那个中点做那个中点接下来是honesty 是诚实老实那个老实这个师傅有讲 open for guidance 可以接受别人的教导flexible。另外一个是谦虚 humble 我们必须谦虚，就是讲把自己把那个自我放在比较低放下来，把自己的身段放下来。像我们时常讲，我是你的父母我们讲话的语气可能不一样，可是我们以平等的心在我们的家庭跟他们沟通，我们家庭会很和谐像你们来寺庙，我们去学这些，我们都是 brothers and sisters， 我们就没有有那个自我，对我们修行是很好没有 ego 我们讲 conceit接下来是 respectful 就是讲我们尊重长辈，尊重父母尊重这个师父僧团另一个是contentment 就是讲让满足让不是你让满足我们感到满足如果我们有什么呢？我们要感恩grateful with what we have感恩接下来是 easily supported， 就是容易扶持很像如果我们有很多要求像我们的孩子我们的伴侣他能够给我们什么我们就接受了如果我们要求太高，像我们现在是住在这样的屋子，我们是如果要求住到很大间的屋子，给他很大的压力，这样就不好容易扶持不过度要求我们必须呢有那些知道什么是优先的，我们的在生活中优先要处理的事，像我们的时间是不够用我们这有家有朋友有孩子，我们有工作我们又去帮忙，所以不够用呢，我们就看哪一些是重要的在这一生中哪一些是重要的另一个 simple life 就是讲简单的生活如果生活可以简单师父讲简单不是讲把一切都放掉你可以有舒适的生活，可是你不执着can be comfortable but not attached or cling to it 这个是不执着另外一个是 restraint 是使我们的心能够平静下来。你要发脾气，刚才师父有讲，我们知道我们呼吸困难的，我们自己有关，呼吸比较急的我们就快调整心要 restraint 控制我们这个心另外一个是 being prudent， 就是要谨慎小心，讲话要很小心，有时讲太过快，我们讲我们没有那个意思，可是听者有那个意思，这样就不好。还有一个是我们 not judgmental， 就是讲不要有意见的看法 意见的看法，对于那个人对一件事有意见的看法，我们就接受怎样的？像今天天气热，我们讲为什么不下雨啊？这样对，我们就接受今天天气很凉爽啊，我们不要人家平衡的，我们就接受这个那个人是这样的，他比较开心的，我们就知道他的性格是这样另外一个三大是师傅是讲信心，对佛法的信心，因为佛陀有教我们去研究他的教法，然后了解了，我们会有很强的信心。这个跟其他宗教不一样，其他宗教他们是讲你必须信念那种，必须信他的，你不可以去他不鼓励你去研究它你一信他就可以。可是这个佛教呢，我们是讲 trust 以前很多书把它翻译成 faith is more like a Western culture translation 所以佛教呢，我们是师父今天来到这边，我们更了解，我们讲的三大是我们对佛教有那种trust 那相信。这是今天师父所说的师父有讲Perdana Vihara 是讲慈悲的心悲就是要去帮忙人家，我们像观音这样去帮忙喜就是happiness 高兴欢喜，咱欢喜，有时咱无欢喜，咱爱想办法想咱欢喜的有时来讲一个囝来讲去画还是去画无欢喜，一个囝去画咱讲迄个雨伞你就爱想迄个画雨伞热天你就爱想画爱写字，所以咱就直接欢喜，因为咱会使经欢喜，咱直接欢喜咧，咱的人是一个其实咱就是真可怜咱的心。另外一个是伊讲这个你是讲什么情况呢？咱拄着了咱爱先想。咱个人大影响着有时人无以前拢好厝亲人，然后咱就你就爱接受的所以你先爱家放过来，讲放下，所以你的心就有受影响但是你无放过来咧，你就要想，所以你的心影响了就影响咱的修行咱自身的平静。
That looks like a better translate, like a better talk than me, I guess. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to share all the good karmas with the departed relatives and the devas and brahmas. May all the good karmas we've been collecting so far by offering dana, and this time, listening to Dhamma and then engaging in the Dhamma discussion. May all these good karmas be shared by all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of you in this life, in the previous lives. May all the departed relatives be happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nanmutu sukita hantu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nanmutu sukita hantu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nanmutu sukita hantu nyatayo. Also, let's share all the good karmas with the devas, brahmas who protect and bless all of us. May all the devas, brahmas share in all these good karmas and protect and bless all of you, especially Venerable Monk, our friend Bhante and all the other monks, including the Nayakatero, the chief monk, and devotees, friends, everybody who could show up today, who couldn't show up today for different reasons. May all you be protected and blessed by the devas and brahmas for good health, quality life, good education, good career, or whatever, everything, all the prosperity. We are in the last week of the year, 2018. 2019 is coming in few days. So everything in this last week of the year, at the same time, the next full year, you'll be protected and blessed by the devas, brahmas for all the good, all the prosperity. At the same time, may all the devas, brahmas be happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. ittavata cha amhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ittavata cha amhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ittavata cha amhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Finally, let's make a great wish. May all the good karmas we've been collecting so far help all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisse nichang vaddha prajayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukham vadam ayurarokya sampatti sanna sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samimjatu sadhu.